You are looking live at Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium. The Horns not going to be home till October 15th when they take on the Cowboys. It's a weekend off. That doesn't mean Texas won't work this week, though. Longhorns getting ready for Iowa State bye weekend this Saturday. Still a lot to work on for the Horns. Texas practice begins now. There you get a shot of the Texas football team inside the bubble for Wednesday's practice. Stretching right now, getting loose. You'll see 6 periods for the next hour here on Longhorn Network as the Horns work on offensive individual drills and try to get ready for the Iowa State game. Of course, a weekend off for Texas. We welcome you back to Texas practice. We welcome in the head coach right now of the Texas football team, Mack Brown. And, Coach, we appreciate you joining us here alongside Ahmad Brooks, one of your former great defensive backs, and it's great to have you here. I want to ask you, though, the team is so hot right now. We talked last weekend about momentum and how important it is for a young team. You're 3-0. You looked very good against UCLA. Does this bye come at an opportune time or not?
It really doesn't matter. It comes at the time it comes, and I used to say, boy, I hate we've got this right now. We were playing so well, and everything was going so well, and somebody'd say it really doesn't matter. It's what it is. So what we will do is we'll take it. We'll use it as a positive. We'll use it to clean up some things that we need to get better, to have some more stuff put in all of the packages, and look forward to Iowa State.
Well, I want to ask you, because Ahmad's been bragging on the secondary, and how could you not? There are so many question marks just from experience alone. You guys have looked very good in the defensive backfield. Has that surprised you how much developed they've been?
It hasn't surprised me. It's pleased me. You go back to when Ahmad played, we were young in the secondary too. You go back to 2008. We had true freshmen, the redshirt freshman safety out there with Earl Thomas and Blake Gideon. One of them starts for Seattle and one of them still playing. So it's not the age, it's the maturity. And so far, Dwayne does a tremendous job with them, but this secondary has played with a lot of maturity, a lot of toughness. That was a question mark. Would they come up? Would they hit people on the corners? They've done that. Now we'll be against some faster receivers. We'll be against some passing games that are more difficult than probably the ones we've seen the first 3 weeks. So it'll be time to pick up their game and take it to another standard.
All right, Coach, I want to ask you personally, you get a weekend off. You going to enjoy it? I know you've been working 20-hour days here. You going to actually take some time off?
Well, I am, but what we do when we have time off, the coaches will all go recruiting. So they'll be out, and I'm talking about Thursday afternoon till Sunday morning, just about. They'll get in really late Saturday night, so they'll be out Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and all day. So coaches work really hard, so it's not an off week. We call it an open week, meaning we do not play. And then what I will do is I'll spend a lot of time watching Iowa State, Oklahoma State over the next 3 weeks. And then you get back to Iowa State on Sunday, and you have a full week of them because we've already got our plan prepared for Iowa State this week. But it gives me a little chance to get ahead. And then I like to watch other games to see what people are doing, see who's really good, see how we stack up to some of the top teams in the country. So I'll spend a lot of time on the couch watching football this weekend.
Well, Coach, you enjoy that. The music's bumping. I think practice is about ready to begin here.
I think so. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Take it easy,
Texas head coach Mack Brown joining us here. And, Coach, in a pretty good mood after 3-0 start, Ahmad, and a lot of people question if this team would be 3-0. They're not only 3-0, but they've continued to get better. You look at the UCLA game compared to the first half of the Rice game, there's already been a lot of improvement in this team.
And I think if you're Coach Brown, you have to take some of the credit, and he's a guy who likes to push it off, but he brought in almost an entirely new staff, KD, and what they've been able to do in the first 3 ball games, it looks like this staff has been here for at least a season or two, the way that the kids have picked up the concepts, the way they've been able to play, and really the way that this team has gelled together in addition to their chemistry. They're playing right now like a confident group of people who are fellows out there, and that's what you love. That starts in the locker room. That starts with the way that the coaches send down instruction to the players, and they've been able to receive that and do a great job of following through.
So we're inside the bubble right now as you take a look at John Paul Floyd, the new third-string quarterback for Texas. Texas stretching right now. Now, Ahmad, I'm 33. I just really had to start stretching before and after workouts, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Why do 18 to 22-year-olds need to stretch so much? Why is it so important?
Because this game is a grind, KD. It's tough. It's physical. We saw some hamstrings and, of course, some quad stretches. Those are the two areas that typically when you run a lot and when you run with power, football is a sport that you do both of those, and that's why we call it explosive power. It's not just about speed like track, and it's not just about lifting like it is in powerlifting. There's a combination between two sports, and so what you have here is that you have to make sure your muscles are stronger, they're faster, and they're more flexible, and it allows you to do what you need to do as a big-time FBS athlete here at the University of Texas.
Well, that's the difference. I was playing pickup basketball, so they're hitting a lot more. And here's Benny Wiley, the strength and conditioning coach, really working on, I believe that's Mason Walters right now. It's definitely one of the big linemen, but, you know, there are certain guys that really need a little bit more care and a little more attention to make sure they are really stretched, because it could be a really bad injury if they're not ready to go.
And you're absolutely right. And as you see here, this is one of the offensive linemen that he's stretching, and strength and conditioning coaches usually are going to focus more attention on the big fellas.
Why is that?
Well, they're the ones that are less flexible. Okay. You know, you find your DBs, your wide receivers, your quarterbacks, more of your skill players have a little more flexibility. That's one reason why they're faster. But if you can work the big fellas and teach them how to stretch properly and make sure that their muscles are also elongated, which allows them to be faster and quicker, and also it helps you fight off injury. Mm-hmm. At this point in the season, that's a concern. Football is a sport where you're going to see some players get injured. We've already seen that thus far this year. And trust me, though you don't want to see it, it's almost something you kind of have to build in for. That's why you create depth. And so stretching is a major part of keeping your body physically fit.
Boy, one guy who's definitely physically fit is Keenan Robinson. You see 9 tackles in Pasadena against UCLA. And the linebackers, there is so much talk about this linebacking core. And with this Manny Diaz defense, now that we've seen it, you realize how important they are. He brought the right defense in personnel-wise with all the linebackers they have. So Keenan Robinson getting stretched now. Take a look at some of the offensive guys. The offensive guys will be wearing the burnt orange tops. If you see a guy wearing a black top, you can't hit him. That's a quarterback. Ahmad, you know all about putting skirts on quarterbacks, playing in the NFL, but of course you want to take care of them here. Texas getting ready. I want to ask you, Ahmad, you always say that the Tuesday practice, you still feel Saturday. You still feel it physically. How do you feel Wednesday?
Wednesday, you're fresh. And Wednesday, you know, this is a time typically in game planning when you actually have a game on Saturday where you start to prepare more for the team that you are working towards that week. A lot of what you installed on Tuesday as far as game planning is concerned, Wednesday you want to be sharp at. You want to make sure you're flying around. You want to make sure that coaches know you can handle your assignment and you can handle the game plan. And so today, even though they're working more fundamentals during an off week, you will see players focusing on the fundamentals of the game, but also making sure that they're flying around and making sure they get to the football.
Well, the stretching is over. The guys are getting ready. We'll show you what's happening at Texas practice when we return after this. Welcome back to Texas Practice. We're pleased to be joined with assistant head coach and defensive backs coach Dwayne Aquina. Coach, so much talk about this young secondary heading into the season. 3 interceptions in the first quarter against UCLA. What are you most pleased about with the development of this unit?
Well, I think each week we've come out there and the test has been a little bit tougher, from the Rice receiving core and the offense to BYU till last week's game against UCLA challenged us, not only with our eyes and schematically, but also with the receivers we were lining up against. And what I'm very pleased with the guys is they're learning concepts quickly. They're being very, very physical. In this last game now, we were finishing plays. And that's such an important part of being a good secondary player, because you only have so many opportunities to make a play. And when we had those plays early in the game, we made them, and we got points off of every single one of those turnovers. But to me, what's also important with turnovers is I could argue that we might have taken 14 points. It was a 14-point swing with Adrian Phillips' interception down there. But then the momentum it gives your team and the life it takes out of your opponent. So those plays are very, very important to our success.
Well, Christian Scott is a guy who started 10 games last season. He will be back for the Iowa State game. How are you going to try and work Scott into the rotation?
Well, number one, we're going to wear him out in special teams. He's an outstanding special teams player, and we got good chemistry back there, and we're playing well. But Christian has been an outstanding football player for us over the years, and, you know, he's going to work his way back into the rotation. He's a very, very physical player, and he brings a real presence to the middle of the field, and that's constantly what we're looking for, is a physical presence in the middle of the field.
Well, you've got so many young corners. You talk about Phillips, Carrington, Bindum, Quandre Diggs. What's the toughest thing as a defensive backs coach when you have such young corners?
Well, just making sure, because a mistake for us in the secondary is critical. Many times it's points, and so the idea that not giving up the big pass, but also the big run, because we're the last chain of defense there. So understanding assignments, making sure that we don't give any free runs away, and so being assignment sound, especially with all the different movements and formations that we're seeing back there. So just making sure they go in there well prepared, they're comfortable, and they're very confident through any situation that could come their way.
Well, Coach, I mean this in the nicest way. You're one of the loudest coaches I've ever heard. It's fun to watch you coach. Where's your voice right now in week 3? Is it you're losing it?
It's still there. It's still there. I still got another couple weeks in me, I think.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Defensive backs coach Dwayne Aquina. Texas practice continues right after this.